What was your very first symptom you noticed, and what was your reaction?
So the first symptoms, it was really two. I can't believe I'm already getting emotional. We have a dog, so we were out walking the dog. I had a small hitch in my step, and it was just nothing serious. It was almost like something was wrong with the muscles. And I poo-pooed it for a week. And then I said to Cindy one day, it's not going away. I'm not sure what it is. We didn't really question it at that point, but knowing that there was something definitely wrong, like all males, I expected it to go away. And it didn't go away. And I was also doing leather work.
Mhm.
So when I pulled a needle through the leather trying to draw it back up, I couldn't pinch the needle anymore.
Your thumbs.
And my thumbs were weak. Again, I didn't think much of it. It was just one of those things. Why can't I hang on to this?
And how did you progress to a diagnosis? When did you end up going to the doctor and figuring it out?
So that was in June when I noticed the issues. We went through July. Things were still happening. We were up on a vacation in northern Wisconsin, and I was having more trouble walking. And it was such that Cindy was quite concerned. We were also in a brewery, so there was this issue. Was it a brewery issue? Wasn't as something other than brewery issue. So we went to the ER because I really couldn't talk well and I really couldn't walk. And we had them do it, not we had them. They chose to do an MRI of my brain to rule out a stroke or cancer. There really wasn't much else they were capable of. It's a small hospital. We were fortunate they had an MRI truck in the bay because it's a traveling MRI for the region up in northern Wisconsin. So they ruled that out. The ER doctor thought I potentially had Parkinson's, and that's pretty much how we left it on a Friday afternoon. When we got home, we knew some people who knew neurologists, and they said, go to Lutheran General, that's another Chicagoland hospital, and go straight to the ER and tell them you're having trouble walking and you feel like you're gonna fall. So we did that. Well, the records came up from the previous Friday ER visit, and they actually thought it was some kind of crazed individual who went to the ER on Friday and now was in the ER on the following Monday. And they really wanted to send me home. And I kept telling them, there's something wrong here. So we were there. We were there from, 9 o'clock in the morning all through the afternoon. And it was not till 4 or 5 where they finally caved and said, we'll admit you. But that was only after I threatened everyone. I said, if you check me out, I'm afraid I'm going to fall. So the liability risk on their part was such that they didn't want to take any chances. And it was the next morning that the neurologist came in and he ran that battery of tests. And by 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon is when he came back with the diagnosis.
He said, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I believe you have ALS. And we just sort of, you don't know what to say. And in my mind, I didn't believe it. So I didn't really react probably the way you would think. But because I said, no, it isn't. It can't be. You know, how can it be that? It can't be that. It's not that. It's got to be something else. And we'll find out what else it is. So I didn't believe it. I just didn't believe it.
Had you guys have heard about ALS when you were diagnosed?
I knew about it. I, many years ago, having once a part of the Yankees, so I knew it from that. But I was fairly young at that point. I didn't have any exposure to the ALS. I knew it was a bad disease. I didn't know there was 0 cures for it. So I really didn't have much information on it other than what I saw in the movie. And the movie doesn't really tell you what ALS is about. It really is about a baseball player. But that was the beginning. I can tell you, Dean, at this point, what we've learned since August through today is staggering. And it's really disappointing. Primarily that here we are. We're pushing 100 years soon since that movie came out, and still nothing. No cure. Really nothing to even slow it down. You can take the medications, but to buy 3 to 5 weeks, that to me is a statistical error in their testing, depending on who they had in their studies. Because ALS is, as I understand it, is so variable between individuals.
How would you say your journey compares to what you expected the journey to be like?
Well, if you'd asked me that question before I saw the doctor, I wouldn't know how to answer it. But when I was diagnosed, I went online immediately. And the first thing I saw was that ALS FRS-R scale in terms of rating ALS patients with the 12 categories with scores from 4 to 0, 48 being you're perfectly normal. So when he diagnosed me that day, my score was a 43. So to understand what that meant, I did some research, and the idea is if you part of the normal population, you lose 1 point a month in that ALS scale. And so as I've gone along, that's exactly what's happened. I'm right in the trend line. So it's been normal. They told me I was going to be slow in my diagnosis. I didn't believe them because I said, you have no information to make that determination. They could have said in August when I was diagnosed and maybe drawn a conclusion in December, but to base it on that initial diagnosis, I didn't trust it. And it's been a point a month. I'm right on the trend line.
After meeting other people with ALS, how do you say your journey either aligns with them or diverges from the norm?
You know, I've never met anybody with ALS. I don't go to any group therapy. Something about that, in my mind, is even harder for me to accept. It's hard for me to accept mine. And to be in a group with others, I think would really bring me down. Because they're going to be at different stages. And in the beginning, I could still do quite a bit. I didn't want to face the truth in terms of what was coming. And I still don't. So I fight through all this, all this, trying to fool myself to believing it's not happening. And then when I stand up or talk or whatever, reality hits. So it's my own personal journey without comparison to others. And I know there's others out there. There's quick journeys and there's very slow journeys where people can live 5 to 10 years. So I don't want to wish and look at anybody else's journey. This is my journey.
What misconceptions would you say are involved with ALS, the progression and everything in general?
You know, I can't speak so much to misconceptions on the progression because almost anything people say is potentially going to be accurate. It's going to be slow. It's going to be fast. It's going to be variable. It's going to strike your legs first. It's going to strike your arms first. Any of those events will be true for somebody. But the one question I get asked is, are you in pain? So I'm not in pain. I still have my sensory nerves. I still have my vision. I still have my taste. So everything else still works. It's just the muscular neurons that are all screwed up. Otherwise, quite frankly, I'm me.
Would you say a lot of people don't consider the variance within the ALS community?
What's the question?
Would you say a lot of people don't consider the variance within the ALS community?
Oh, I don't think they would. The general population wouldn't know. I don't think I even understand it today because it's so variable. I know of a woman whose brother has ALS. I've never met him, but he's had ALS now for 7 years. And he's still walking and doing his thing. That to me is shocking when I look at my progression. I can't believe that even happens. Whereas somebody with slow progression would be shocked at your mother's progression or even mine and how quick it is.
What do you think is unique about ALS compared to other diseases?
It's fatal. There is no cure. It's not unique necessarily, other than it can't be cured. But it's a slow progression to an end result I know is coming. And many other diseases have the same progression, but they have what I call hope. I would say if you have ALS, when people tell you have hope, it may work out. I don't have hope that medically they're going to resolve this. I am resigned to the fact that they haven't got a cure. They aren't even close to a cure. And everyone's ALS is so different. I'm afraid it still may be a long ways off. But here's my hope when I say I don't have any. The hope is for other people. I really hope that AI can be useful in getting through the complexities of this disease, assuming that they're getting the right information and data from all the patients that have had ALS. That's what I hope.
Do you think there's shared experiences or anything else that unites you with the rest of the ALS community?
Not sure I can answer that one.
Gotcha.
Just repeat the question.
Would you say there's any shared experiences or other or values that unite you with other members of the ALS community?
You know, I don't know the other members, so I can't speak to anything we share. You know, we have to all be going through this same emotional difficulties and physical as well. I'm just, quite frankly, I'm one of the lucky ones.
Because people, people,
Yeah.
because of the support that we have. We have so many friends and family members who have been there for us. They're called Andy's Army, and they are just there for us for whatever we need. And I don't know how anybody would do this, get through this without that. If you didn't have family and friends that were there for you for anything, the littlest thing. And I would hate to face this alone if you didn't have support like that. I just don't know how you would do it. So we're very, very, very grateful to all the people that have been there for us and are still there. They check in every day. They read Andy's blog every day. They invite us out and they invite us over. They bring dinner. They say prayers. They do anything that they can do. And they're always saying, what else can we do? So I don't think we could get through it without that.
And then,
That's what you were saying.
can you walk me through a typical morning now? What's changed and what still feels familiar?
Well, I still get up way too early, between 3:30 in the morning and 4, which is not unusual for me prior to ALS. I sit on the bed every morning, drop my legs on the floor, and I go, it's going to be better today. So that's my first step into the day. And damn it, it's rough every single morning, that first step. But it's changed because now I spend a couple hours in the morning writing the blog. And the blog really helps me to reevaluate where I am, both physically, mentally, socially. I can't say spiritually, but maybe that comes someday. But my day is very quiet now compared to it used to be. I was very active. I was a tinkerer. I'd always be looking for projects. I was outside, I was at the neighbors. I was always doing something to fix or do, improve.
Or help people. I could say what's different in the mornings is that he used to eat bacon and eggs almost every morning. Like, how many eggs? 4 eggs every morning. And that would get him started for the day. And he would be just off doing his thing and helping other people. And now he has feeding tube. So his breakfast consists of that, getting his nutrition that way versus the bacon and eggs. So we were kind of joking about, what are we going to have for dinner tonight? And I said, what about breakfast for dinner? Do you want bacon and eggs for dinner? Because you don't get that much anymore.
Yeah.
So that's very different in the morning. And you don't drink as much coffee as you used to drink.
No, I don't. I was a major coffee drinker. I might have 1 cup in the morning.
And that's about it. Yeah.
Are there any tasks that used to be automatic to you that now have become something to celebrate?
Wait, say the question again.
Are there any tasks that were once automatic to you that now become a moment of celebration?
Oh, hell, just walking across the room is a reason to celebrate. Not falling is a reason to celebrate. I've had 9 falls since August. I think everyday life, I even hate to say this, is a celebration that I got through it. Being able to drive is a celebration. I still have that. I can still walk. It may not be well, but I can do it. And I'm reasonably independent for me, but I can't do anything else around the house. I don't have the stamina, I don't have the dexterity. So it sounds rather mundane, but to live life every day is it's a celebration.
So you briefly talked about earlier about how you always like to help around and are always a handyman. What aspects of your identity have stayed the same, and what aspects have you lost with ALS?
So I lost a lot of the physical capabilities of helping, but I didn't lose. I didn't lose. I didn't lose my brain, and I picked that up from somebody, because I do. Damn it! I can't talk.
So he volunteers to do taxes for people, mostly seniors, every year. And for 10 years, he's been doing that during tax season. And he was talking to some of his colleagues that he does the taxes with, and he's saying he might not be able to come back and do that this last year. And they said, yes, you can. You can still think. You still got a brain. You can do taxes. So he did. So he finished out the tax season in a big way. But I think at first he was thinking, maybe I can't. But he can, and he did.
And the hope is that I can still do some of this next year as well. So if you need your taxes done, I can do the federal. I can't do New Jersey.
Gotcha.
But I can still do the work behind the scenes on the computer. Because what I will eventually lose is one, shuffling papers. I can't do that. And I really can't have a real good dialogue with clients. Most of the time is spending, what? I didn't understand you. So that pretty much nicks that right away. But I still have the ability to do, I'll call it the soft skills, things on a computer. But it comes to physical day to day, much of that wears me out in a matter of 10, 15 minutes if it involves walking or any effort whatsoever.
What aspects of your pre-ALS identity do you work hard to preserve? Is that like your work with taxes or like your support of your family or you being a helper or
I try to preserve my personality and my attitude. I have always been, and then I don't want to say the life of the party, but I always enjoyed doing anything. There wasn't anything that I was afraid to do. So, in terms of keeping me as me, I try to keep that attitude about life and every day make the most out of it that I can, wherever I can, no matter what it is. It could be as simple as reading a book all day, but still enjoying it, getting into the book and escaping ALS, or going out to dinner with friends, again, escaping ALS. So, in many cases, what I try to preserve is what I had and escape ALS.
and then when mobility or speech feels challenging, what goes through your mind?
Um, First and foremost, I always find it hard to believe that it's happening. And how do I fight through it? And the speech especially, there's a limit of how much I can fight on the speech. I noticed that I will get short of breath, so I can fight it for a while until I can't. So when we go out, it'll be the same thing with this interview. I can start out strong, but by the time we get to the end of it, you won't be able to understand a single word I'm saying. Then you'll have to translate and answer all the questions. But physically, I still want to do everything I can. There's so many people that want help. I try to shoot them off, even if it's in my best interest that I ask for help. And I want to do it myself. But I'm coming to the point where I'm learning to not push it. I've had the 9 falls. I will have a 10th one. And I'll probably go up to 20, 30 at some point. I don't want to do it any sooner than I have to. So I really need to be careful how hard I push it. Even today, I used the walker upstairs for the first time. And that's been something Cindy's been trying to give me to use for a couple months now.
Yeah.
I can be rather stubborn in that way.
I second that.
I just want to live life the way I always did. I don't want to use aids. I know I have to use them, but I don't want to use them till I absolutely have to. So in the interim, this is where I'm possibly going to hurt myself with my stubbornness. So I do waste some of that. I'm still going to be stubborn, I know it. It's based on how I feel. there's something interesting about the brain with how it operates with your entire body. So when I take a step, my brain knows. It tells me don't move your leg there or your foot, because we're not sure we can cover you. How the brain compensates for this over time, but I'll place my foot down sometimes, and my brain says, don't, you can't take the next step. Because we know your collective muscles will not support what you're trying to do. It's hard for me to explain, but when I do things that are dangerous, intuitively, mind takes over and stops me.
Mm.
Now, I will it sometimes. Veto that, I'm going. And that's when I get myself into trouble.
Are there any tools or strategies that you find help you with your mobility or speech?
The tools, of course, the cane, it's gonna eventually be the walker, which will eventually be the wheelchair. But I am using the wheelchair whenever we're outside if it involves any distance. So we have the dog, we take the dog out for a walk. The only way I can participate in that is a wheelchair. And as much as I don't like it, I feel like the whole world's focused on me in the chair. Good. Well, there's a guy going down the sidewalk with a power wheelchair.
In a really cool color.
John Deere green.
Yeah.
I need to get a logo put on there.
Your little license plate.
But I don't want the world focusing on me as a disabled guy. I just want the world to focus on me for what I was, what I am, not the guy stuck in a chair. So that identity, I have problems with that, because I feel like I'm losing a big part of me when I can't talk or participate in just everyday life.
How do you say your relationship with your spouse, children, friends have been evolved since diagnosis?
You know, I'll speak to you. So, it was just us, husband-wife relationship. We did everything together. We shared responsibilities. So we were a good spousal unit, well balanced. We knew what we were good at, what we didn't want to do. And I never wanted to do inside work. I always wanted to do outside work. Well, now that's changed. I don't do inside work, not because I don't want to, because I can. So, Sydney's being, yes, she's my spouse. She's also now my caregiver. So that relationship has changed. So I put more weight on her shoulders while I sit back and I'd say snap my fingers if I could snap them. But she waits on me all day long. And that's hard for me to accept. But if I do try to help myself, what do you say?
I would say that I don't do as much as you think I do. I'm here, and ALS is all about conserving your energy. You probably know that. And so I want him to conserve his energy for things he wants to do instead of things he has to do. Like if he's down here and he forgot his phone upstairs, you know, I would say, let me get it. He can get it, he can go up there, but conserve your energy to do the things you want to do. And like I could be a much better cook. I could make great meals for you, but I don't really like to cook anymore. So I think I'm helping where I can, and I want to help so that he can do things that he wants to do instead of stupid stuff. So
And then as far as the kids, I used to talk to them a reasonable amount of time on the phone, just talking. That's pretty much gone by the wayside. We still text, which is preferable for your generation anyway. So it's good in that respect. But I do miss that connection because it is not the same inflection, the voice, the mood that you pick up when you talk to people. And you're going to pick up a little more in a phone call than a text because you're not going to reveal everything on the phone when you're texting them. So that's been hard. But at the same time, the kids they really stepped up. You think watching a parent go through this has to be very difficult to face. And they've stepped up and they've been very strong.
they've been great.
Alex, the engineers, when he watches this, he might not like hearing it, but he goes, Dad, I'll make all the gadgets you need to function. I'll build you a brand new mechanical hand. I go, that's great, but I think that's a little bit outside your wheelhouse, at least right now. It was nice that he wanted to do it.
Or
Good intentions.
can you share a story of unexpected kindness recently within your family or beyond?
Dean, there's been so much
Yeah.
kindness, but I would say the May 31st party.
Yeah. So on May 31st this year, we had an open house to celebrate Andy, and invited lots of people, and there were more than 150 people there. And it was a huge event, and it was surprising to all of us how many people came. So they came, and we thought, well, it's a busy Saturday. People have things to do. They might come for a little while and then, say hello and leave. So we made it an open house. You could come and go as you wanted. And people came and they stayed. And 150 or more people were there. And just to be there for him, to talk to him, to show the support for him. It was important for them to be there, and he knew they were there. And that, I think, was surprising, is that so many people turned out in such a big way. And I think that the family, Andy's a triplet. So his brothers and his sisters, everybody pitched in. They made videos of, photos from when they were babies and, through today. And everybody did anything they could to help make it a success. And we have a lot of people to thank for that. but the kindnesses that we see are constant. You know, people wanting to get together and inviting us out, inviting us over. Like I said, making us dinner, bringing it over, offering to take us anywhere, drive us anywhere, whatever we need. Everybody is so kind and so generous, and they're always there. So I think there's too many to almost list, you know, how people have really, a card comes in the mail from someone you haven't seen in a long time, maybe when they heard about the diagnosis. And it just comes, or, you know, everything. The kindnesses are just keep coming.
And then well, this is an expansion, but how has your local United chapter help you throughout this journey? Would you say they've given you support through just accessibility, information, or
Well,
what in particular?
one, they've helped me just from the get go manage the various disciplines that you need to see on a regular basis: nutrition, neurologist, PT, OT, speech, nutri.
Every, yeah.
There's so many disciplines that you touch, and they made that road very simple or easier than if I was without them. I'd be chasing these specialists every day, all week, all month long, and never feel like I've met the requirements I need. So they've taken the heat off me, and they own that and make that work very well. I wouldn't have a wheelchair. I have two wheelchairs. I wouldn't have either one of them without them. I wouldn't know about getting a feeding tube, the timing of it, how that should all work. Seeing a pulmonologist. The Ellis Clinic has been huge.
ALS United has helped so much. They kind of knew what we were going to have to expect, and we didn't know. We didn't know this journey, and they sort of led us through it. And this is what you're going to need, and this is what you can expect. And anytime we have a question, we reach out, and somebody gets back to us, and especially our Peggy, our we call her our angel Peggy, and she's there. She'll call us right back. She'll get right back to us and say that's normal, or you can expect this, or here's how I can help you. She'll send us small devices, maybe that for an issue that he's having. And so they've sort of anticipated everything we're going to need along the way. And they schedule us for these clinics 4 times a year. So we get to see everybody all in one day instead of, I think you could probably spend your whole life, like Andy said, just going from doctors to therapists to every day. It's all right there.
What would you say other local resources that have helped you guys out, such as like clinics or local nurses or anything else that's aided in your journey?
So ALS United got us some equipment that other local agencies delivered and taught us how to use.
Okay.
So, but it all started with ALS United. But other locals would bring in like a cough assist machine or a breathing mask that he wears at night.
Well, we have a local senior services.
Yeah.
Their acronym is SVCS.
SCVS.
SCVS.
It's called Senior Care Volunteer Network, and it's an organization based here in Crystal Lake, and they provide transportation for a lot of seniors to get to doctor appointments or grocery store visits and things, and they also have a lending closet. So early on, I stopped by there. We know them. We used to volunteer for that organization, and I could get a cane and a wheelchair and transfer chair and a walker and, just about anything we needed like that. What do you need? We'll bring it to you, So that organization, Senior Care Volunteer Network, was super, super helpful.
Yeah.
And that's those two, between ALS United and Senior Care Volunteer Network, they've helped so much.
And then when you feel discouraged, what gives you the courage to keep going?
Well, I don't get discouraged that often, which actually surprises me some. But some days are rougher than others. I just tell myself there's ups and downs in life. This particular moment will pass because some days are truly harder than others. So if I had a good day the day before and something's just not working the next day, I keep telling myself with good sleep, good nutrition, and the next day is going to be better. And it is. I'm finding a new normal every week. But within those weeks, the days are quite variable at times. So if I hit a rough spot, I tell myself, take a pause, get off your feet, and just take it easy. Tomorrow will be a better day. And it works. I come to accept the new normals. I don't like them, but I come to accept them. And I try to work with what my current situation is. The good news is I don't have those discouraging days that happen. Either that or I'm lying to myself, and that's working too. So I don't find myself to be depressed. I just know that our days will become good days. And it's the same that everyone in life deals with without ALS or with ALS. You have good days, you have bad days. Just work your way through the bad day, and tomorrow will be a better day.
How do you say sharing your story through things like your blog or through word of mouth have helped expand local or broader national ALS advocacy and support?
You know what? I know it's helped. It's it's brought ALS friends. It's brought ALS front and center to so many people. So it's made them aware. And I know they have to be talking to people. So it's bringing awareness to so many people. Sometimes I wish I could put a number on the people that blood touches. But we get enough text messages and calls to help that so many people are being made aware of this. And it's raising money. The fact that we managed, the kids, have raised $30,000 with 82 days left until the marathon. It's remarkable.
Very proud of them. I feel like that we've made a lot of people aware of this, the people that we're in contact with are Army. But I feel like there's so much that we don't know about it, and so many people don't know anything about it. And it's really frustrating to think of, like Andy said, from the time, let's say, Lou Gehrig sort of made this a more commonly known disease, and what has really been achieved since then. And I read about it, and I read that they feel like maybe that ALS, they knew of it during the Civil War. So I don't know if that's true or not. But so other diseases you hear about, they've made progress curing this type of cancer, or people with other diseases that are serious have lived longer. But I feel like with ALS, it's not getting what it needs. I feel like there's got to be. I know it's a hard disease. I know it's got to be hard to figure out. I can't even imagine where to start. But what's being done? What is happening for people that are going through what we're going through, what Andy's going through? Where are we with all that? Why is it not front and center more? I know there's a lot of people going through really difficult things, every family's touched by something. But where's the solution to this? Where's something? They're identifying genetic mutations. Okay, they've got some of the trial drugs. But that's it. In 80 to 100 years, that's where we are. I don't know. Is there some? I mean, our group knows about it. We've gotten the word out with our people, but what about the medical field? I don't know what's happening with all that, but it doesn't feel like it's enough.
Can you recall a moment recently that surprised you with joy or laughter?
Every day. No, seriously.
Yeah.
We really try to lead our lives as normal individuals, as a normal couple. We don't fall on the ALS. We go off with friends. We laugh.
Yeah.
We socialize. We enjoy life. Really, today, as we did in the past, we don't go out with the idea that we have ALS or I have ALS and we're Debbie Downers. We go on and just try to enjoy whatever we're doing in that moment. Yeah, it all comes with challenges, but if you don't live life normally with this, with whatever accommodations you need, this disease would make you absolutely stir crazy. And I can't think about it all day. I already think about it too much as it is, because I'm reminded every time I say a word, every time I take a step, that I have ALS. But I try to find as much joy in my life as I can, no matter how mundane that activity might be.
If I can add something. So we have a dog, and animals really can make you feel great. Animals are just sometimes the cure that you need. And our dog makes us laugh. He just does the stupid things or little things that dogs do, and he makes us laugh. So sometimes it's just the simple things like that. Family pet.
He still doesn't know I have ALS. Nobody's told him.
And then, are there any goals, big or small, recently that you've still been pursuing?
I really haven't, and that's been a miss during this progression of ALS. I was starting to do leather work as a hobby. I never really got good at it. I could make things, they were functional, but I was hoping to do some of that. But that requires dragging the whole workshop out of the basement into the garage, and it still might not be viable because of the hands. Yeah, I could probably get something made. It will look like it was crafted by a 6-year-old, and I'm not sure I have the patience for that.
I think one of your goals could be to clean the garage, and then we could move the leather stuff into the garage.
So I'm still looking for that one item that I can bite down on and say, all right, this is my new passion. Because I've read a ton of books, but reading books is enjoyable. I'm not sure I would call that a passion. It's more of an escape from the realities of life.
Would you say your blog is a passion of yours?
No, I wouldn't.
No? I would.
It's part of me. The blog was never supposed to be a blog. Seriously. It was supposed to be an update to the kids on my ALS journey. So my daughter lives in Alexandria. Alex lives in Highwood, which is far enough away for both of them that they won't see me for stretches. I never wanted them to be surprised by the ALS progression and go, oh shit, Dad, what happened? So I started this writing journal just for them. Then I brought in their significant others, then brought in Cindy's family, my family, friends, and it sort of took its own life. I enjoy doing it, but there are mornings when I say to myself, what the hell are you going to talk about today? You have an hour and a half to write it, or 2 hours, depending when I start. Because I put a hard deadline on myself. It needs to be finished by 7 a.m. Central Time, or it's a fail. To me, it's like a subscription. People expect the paper to be delivered on time. So if it's not there between 7 and 8, because the blog's a little slow publishing some days, then the first question people ask, is Annie okay? So I enjoy it probably 95% of the time. The other 5% is because I have writer's blog and go, I need to come up with something. You have only an hour and a half and the clock's ticking.
But you always do. You always come up with something.
It's amazing, Dean. I never considered myself a writer, and I still don't today. I sit in the corner over there, tapping on my phone, and whatever hits ends up on the blog. And people say it's good. I still think they're lying to me. I don't read my entries once they're finished. I never go back. So there's always a risk of redundancy from one day to the next. I'm sure there's people going, wait, he just talked about this. But now they want me to turn it into a book. I go, that's a bit much. That's a lot of words after 300 plus days. The other day I looked, there was a word count when I posted. It was 6,000, almost 6,000 words. It would look like a Stephen King novel. That'll be about a year thick. And no ALS book or blog, if it's worth anything, should be that thick. And God save the person who's going to try to take my blog and turn it into a #1 bestseller.
I think it would be good to take parts of it and make a book. I do. There's so many days there that you read it, and people would really enjoy reading it and learning about this journey. I think it would be good. So I might do that.
You're good because I'm not. It took everything to convince
Just to
me
get this far.
to do the blog. It took months before I would release it. I had some people, because I did this all via text, and people would write back. And it was not widely published outside the family. And the people that were friends, they were pushing hard for me to open it up to the general populace. And it was hard to convince me. It even still today is hard for me to believe that I did this. But enough people pushed. I'm glad they did. It had a bearing on people understanding ALS and then understanding of my journey. It's helped to bring people into
I think it also helps them because they would be calling all the time. How are we doing? What's going on? What can I do? And they want to know how he's doing. So I think this way they know every day. They read it, they know. And if we need anything, he'll put it in there and they'll be there for us. So I think it helps them because they would just feel bad calling us all the time, because we get a million phone calls. So I think it helps everybody.
I've asked them a couple times, them mean the readers, what questions do you want me to answer? What topics? Nobody ever answered that one.
But when you put out the word, like we know we have to buy a van or something, and so he put that out there that we got the wheelchair and now we have to look for a vehicle. And they started sending us, here's a link to something, here's one that could help you, here's one you can get used. They just started sending us information. So they took it upon themselves to say, I want to help. Maybe I can provide them with some information that will help them choose a van or whatever.
Is there any advice you'd give to someone newly diagnosed about how to expand their community, helping them, or local support, or anything that you would?
Go find an ALS clinic, first and foremost.
That's one. 2, conserve your energy because Andy's a triathlete. And so the first thing he wanted to do was get out and do something. You feel like you want to go do something physical to keep your muscles strong, to build your energy up. And so we did a 5K together. He walked it, but that probably wasn't the best thing to do because conserving your energy is hugely important. And they told us that right from the beginning. So I would say find a clinic, conserve your energy. And what else do you think?
Well, I think try to stay ahead of what you think. The advice people say if you need something, try to get ahead of it before you need it. Because one thing I still tried to fool myself with was, no, that's not going to happen to me. Well, there's no stopping any of this. So when people say you will not be able to walk, I believe it. So if you need to modify your house, start the process early. If you need to get equipment, take that journey and do the paperwork. Whatever it is you need, try to get it before you actually need. Because otherwise, you're going to be chasing your tail during your entire journey. And I think that's why I have more up days than down. I'm not chasing my tail every day. We have the resources. We've taken a lot of steps to try to get ahead of this. We haven't done all of it, but we're still managed to stay a couple steps ahead. And lastly, it's a real deal. So if you're newly diagnosed, I'm sorry to say, you're gonna go through the same progression that every other ALS patient has gone through. It might vary, it might be quicker, it might be slower. It'll affect you in different parts of your body, different from anybody else. But there's no denying the fact you will succumb to this disease, whether you like it or not. So I'm not suggesting prepare for that end, but prepare for the journey so you can make it as easy as it possibly can be for you personally, for your family, your caregiver, your friends. Otherwise, this would be a miserable journey.
What would you want someone outside the community to understand about ALS?
I want them to know the same thing that I'm telling people inside the community. You know, they might not be part of my circle, but if they can donate money to a local ALS chapter, help somebody in their community. Because I don't know how the monies work between these chapters, but some of them are probably better funded than others, especially in the rural community. They must have it so much more difficulty. So if you have the capability, reach out and find out what they need. We've been lucky. You know, they asked the ALS United has nothing
Yeah.
about.
No, they don't. But they're there for us every time we need something. Peggy is there. I would like I don't know where this is going to go, this conversation and the others that you're going to be having. I don't know who will see it or where it will be, but I wish it could get out there in a big way so that the people in the medical field and the technology fields and the Elon Musks of the world and the people that really want to better our world, you know, sending people to Mars or whatever it is, electric vehicles. I would love to see that kind of focus on this, something, get a treatment or something to delay the progression of it or something. But I feel like it doesn't have the focus. And I don't, like I said, I don't know where this is all going to end up, but I sure would like it to fall in the hands of somebody who says, I have the money, I have the resources, I want to do something for these people that have been suffering from this disease for so long with not much progress. I want to help. I want to be the one that finds it a treatment for it or a cure. I want to be that person. And I just wish all this would follow. I've written letters. I haven't heard anything back. But I just would like someone to say, I'm going to take that and I'm going to make that happen.
If you do happen to talk to Elon Musk, and he's got an extra exos, I can't say it, exoskeleton suit that he wants to get rid of, I'm game to try it.
Related to that discussion, looking ahead, how do you like your story to shape future research or public perception or anything else related to ALS?
I would like someone to see it, if it could get out. I don't know how it will get out, but if it could get in the hands of like I said, the medical field or technology people or people that are the entrepreneurs and the wealthy people that want to be the person who figured this out, or made huge strides in figuring it out. I would love for them to see this and or read about us. I'd love to get a phone call one day when somebody says, I saw this video and I learned about your story, and take it from there, go and talk to other people and just to take it's such a horrible thing when you hear, I think you have ALS. Where do you find hope in that, and I just want somebody to kind of say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. Somebody, some group. I don't know. I just would like to see it go that far. That would be my dream. See it go from the coverage that it gets now or the attention it gets now. And I know a lot of people are probably out there working on this. I think there's probably people everywhere in research centers and hospitals and whatever and trying to figure this out. It's not like nobody's doing anything. I think they are. But it needs something. It needs something more. And it's probably money or that focus that I'm going to find this. I'm going to make something better for these people that have been diagnosed with this. Because they don't know why people get it. If you have the familial ALS, they know it comes down through your family line. But other people who it's not in their family, how did they get it? Where did they get it? What happened? How do we make sure other people don't get it that way? So some answers. I want those kinds of answers. I want somebody to see this and say, I'm going to work on that. That would be me. That would be my wish.
It's a admirable wish.
It's a big wish. Pressure's on you. No. It's there's got to be something, because so far there's no cure and there's very few treatments. The genetic testing and all that they've done now, like I said, that's progress. That's great. But it's slow and it's kind of small steps.
That's why AI needs to get involved.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they're doing nothing but collecting data.
Is there anything else you guys would like to discuss before the end of the interview?
Maybe just so I don't know if I know the whole aspect of your project. Andy's told me a little bit that you're traveling across the country, and so maybe a little bit more background on what project is that you're working on.
So basically, I'm traveling from like Jersey, where I'm based, basically up towards Cali and then back towards around basically. And I'm doing 10 ALS interviews across the country. And from like, I just did one in Columbus yesterday, today Chicago. I did one in Wyoming, one in San Diego, one in Portland, one in Phoenix, one in Atlanta, one in Charlotte, and a couple others.
Wow.
Are you do interviewing any neurologists?
So I'm not, but so this trip specifically is focused just on people affected by ALS. But I was thinking about it in my car ride, which was rather long, about possibly doing a separate, maybe not full trip, but at least like another set of interviews, more focused on like neurologists or focused on people in like ALS clinics, people at ALS United, and figuring out the other side of the story and what is the progress that is happening.
Yeah, that's good. That's great.
They would have a lot to say. The unfortunate neurologists had the tougher time of dumbing it down so the rest of us can understand us. Because if it was easy, it'd be figured out. So they have to take the complexities and boil it down to something lay people can understand. And if you can help people understand it, it will bring more awareness, hopefully more money, and more money will lead to a cure, not just another 100 years of research,
Yeah.
eventually a cure. You know, the other issue, I hate to even say that, if it's only affecting little over 5,000 people a year, it's big in the life of the people who are affected, but it's still such a small segment of the population.
But I think it's that disease that when you hear it, you know what the outcome's going to be. If someone gets a cancer diagnosis, it's horrible. It's terrible. But there is hope there that maybe they have the kind of cancer that can be cured, or they're making strides in curing cancer. We all know about that, right? And catch it early, different kinds of cancer. But when you hear ALS, I think you have ALS, where do you go? You go right to the outcome. So if I know maybe the numbers of people that have it are not as large as other diseases, but I think that to find a cure for people that will give them hope, and sometimes cancer patients do have hope, sometimes they don't.
Well, my other thought is there are so many other motor neuron diseases, ALS just being one of them. Collectively, they make up a large number of people. I don't know the number, but it's certainly significant because Parkinson's falls in that category. And that's one you hear about probably more frequently, but it's not a fatal disease. There has to be linkage. There has to be linkage between these diseases that if they can figure one of them out, my optimism is they might be able to figure most of, not all of them.
Yeah.
They're going to have this moment, oh my God, I know the answer.
Yeah. It's very possible. And I think that the fact that they don't know why people get it, that's frightening. You don't know what triggers it. or people carry the gene and may never get it. Like Andy's mom in her family, she never had it. It never.
One of my Tripper brothers, he has the genetic mutation. So he's fine. But now he's walking around knowing he has a living time bomb.
That may or may not tick. It may not. But how do you? I mean, it's how do you know how? I don't think I would want to take the test if I thought, because then I think you'd always think about it, and I don't know if Tom thinks about that all the time or not, but I think I would. So I don't know. I just want somebody to see it or hear it, and I think it's also a disease that people don't always like to talk about because it is so. It's because without hope, and I think that they don't always want to talk about that, because the survivors are few, and you want to have some survivors. You want to have people that overcame this disease and found a cure or treatment or something, and then that's a good story. But with ALS, it's a hard story. It's really hard because, yeah, I mean, it's just, I think that's why sometimes people just don't want to talk about it. They'd rather not. It's too hard. But
I always tell people, don't hide from it. If you have questions, ask. I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'll answer any questions that anybody has. If people have an interest in knowing, I'm more than happy to share with them when they know how I feel, what's happening. It's probably healthy for me. It gets things off my chest.
I think you're the kind of person that likes to help other people too. You don't like to ask for help. You want to give help. So I think if someone cares enough to ask you about this, you will help them understand by giving them that information. That's just your personality. You don't like to ask for help, but you like to give help where you can.
And I'll probably continue like that.
I think you will. You're not going to change that. Well, when you got a call from Dean's, it's hard to talk. After a while, your voice kind of runs out.
No, I jumped on that.
But yeah, that's who you are. You wanted to help and get the information out there and help him with his project and learn about why you're doing this. So that's interesting. But that's just you. You're never going to turn down a request for help. But I think it's amazing that you're doing it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I could turn into a roaring success.
I hope so as well.
Yeah. I hope that no other family would have to go through it. That at least if they get the diagnosis, they know there's something they can do to help fight it.
It's a great legacy.
Yeah.
On behalf
of your mom, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's too bad.
It is.
Yeah. You feel talked out? Have you said everything you want to say?
I have.
Yeah.
And I think my voice is shot.
A little raspy.
Maybe you could sing some raspy songs.
Little Joe Cocker.
Yeah. Bob Dylan.
Well, he's
John Prine.
Yeah, he's kind of raspy. Yeah.
So you're a Grateful Dead fan, or are you a fan of?
He is.
No, yeah. Yeah, what were you a fan of?
Chicago.
Beatles. I like the Beatles, you know.
The Beatles is classic.
Yeah, they're
How can you not like
classic.
the Beatles?
Right, that's right. Well, it's the classic old, you know, all the stuff from the 60s and 70s.
Gotcha.
You must be running out of memory. Was that flashing when we started?
Yeah, a little bit. It should be recording still, but
Oh, it should be. Do you want to do it all over again?
I think we're all good. But yeah, it's still recording.
So these people you're interviewing, I know you can't really say anything.
So he's sort of healed and your dad.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Being remarried.
God, I don't want to hear it.
No, that's bad too.
Pat, have you read over these?
I read through them.
Okay, yeah.
I've
I
read
will
through 'em.
ask you the question. I just want.
I haven't had
need
a
to have-
chance to read all of them. So,
You can just look through real quickly.
okay.
If I overthink the questions, those make me nuts.
Do you want to add off?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna go off. Do people give?
This is a very Grateful Dead esque.
She hates who Grateful Dead.
Okay.
The Grateful Dead's very popular these days. Their merch is like it's like the only band people wear, I swear.
Really?
Yeah.
I never liked them.
They do a very merch though.
Yeah.
Merchandise, like clothes and everything.
The little bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. I'll show you what our son made. We did an open house for Andy, and people came and brought cards, and you know, it was just a very cool event. And so we did something for people to put the cards in. So this is what our son made.
That's crazy.
I know, he's nuts.
What is he into woodworking, I assume?
He's an engineer,
Okay.
and he has a.
There's a laser. It's a
Oh,
it's
laser
well,
printer.
he has a 3D printer as well as a laser.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm majoring in computer science, so I always wanted to be an engineer, and then I was like, basically like Phineas and Ferb. Have you heard of Phineas and Ferb? So it's like it's a children's show, and when I grew up, they like build a lot of stuff, and I'm like, that's interesting. Like I want to be an engineer, and then I transferred into computer science, where like I could build stuff on computers, and it's like easier. It's like more. And I also looked into a lot of engineering majors, and I'm like, I don't want to do this or this, so I'm like, I then ended up switching computer science. But STEM's always been my favorite field for sure.
It's a cool field.
What is he doing with engineering?
He works at a bearing company.
No, he worked for a pump company, Xylem.
Okay.
And then he moved just recently to it's something that goes in a pump, so he's still in manufacturing end, and God, I can't think of what it is. It's something that spins and it goes in a pump.
Everything rotates. It's for electrical connections without the wires. So the wires, when the object spins, having wires tangle up wouldn't work.
Okay.
It's really beyond me.
Yeah,
He's into all sorts of things. He
getting-
made my cane for me.
I can get it.
Go ahead
Where is it?
and hang it on the banister.
He's
So he's learning how to forge.
Okay.
So he's making objects. The end result he's shooting for is he's making his own wedding band.
yeah.
So the cane itself, the staff, is something from the hardware store. He designed the eagle on the 3D printer
Okay.
and then melted the brass to
Okay.
come up with the head.
Interesting.
So he's making their wedding rings,
Okay.
and
When is he getting married?
September 13th in Maine.
Okay.
Yeah, her
I
family.
like Maine.
Her family has. We've never been there. Her family has a home, summer home there. So
Gotcha. Maine's very nice in the summer. Are they? What are you? What? When are they doing the marathon?
October.
yeah, I can't remember the date, but I can look it up. It's in October.
It's 82 days away.
Gotcha.
You come
So
back
you
through-
saw they just
Yeah. The
30,000.
Yeah. Okay.
You're smoking it.
what's their end goal?
Well, Nicole's end goal is to be the brother. Alex's end goal is to be the sister. Their dual end goal is to raise as much money
Okay.
as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But she started out with her goal of 10,000, right? Is that right? And now together they've raised 30.
Well, they all bumped up their individual goals. Nicole started at 5, went to 10. Now she's at 20. Alex, I think, well, he's blown past 10. So I don't know what his goal is today. What's where this ALS United site, they have 4 members of their team. Their individual goals are X. But X plus does not total the team goal, which I think is nuts. So if you have each one of them is raising $10,000 as a goal, the team goal should be 40. It can be something like 25.
Wow, it's weird.
I just think
We're up to around 7,500 right now
for what?
with the journey. We're raising along with ALS United as we go.
Oh, I only saw a little over $1,000.
Yeah, that was yesterday. So we had a good day today.
Who's we?
Like me and there's some people who help me out once in a while with like the limit Elisa stuff. But ALS United has also helped me like schedule the interviews and everything like that.
Oh, great.
So was your mother ever in the clinic?
Not really.
So how'd you get hooked up with the ALS United?
It was after she passed. I reached out to them and like tried to start something. I initially reached out to ALS Association, and they didn't respond. So then I reached out to ALS United, and Great New York responded, and like we started talking, and then I reached out to like the larger ALS United, and then each local branch for the interviews, basically.
So you only have one interview in Chicago?
I do, yeah.
I thought that was strange.
You're the only one.
We better make it good.
Did they reach out to other people?
I don't know. I so basic like because all the information is confidential. Obviously, they're not gonna like just send me a bunch of information of people with ALS.
Yeah.
So they sent me your contact because you accepted it, but they didn't send me any others. But that also might have been because they're like, he only needs one. Let me to send whoever is most enthusiastic about it. But I don't know.
It could be.
You're gonna lose your voice if you
Do you want to start?
don't start answering questions. I'm not doing to be the killjoy here. I love talking about this, but I just know you're gonna lose your voice.
I probably will.
Are you?
It's running right.
It's running now. Yeah.
I thought so. That's okay.
Okay. Let me. Are you all ready? Okay.